Hey guys, Christina here. Hey, I was just watching a video on YouTube, I believe it was the other day, from Sweet and Simple Home. I will link her video below so you can check it out. And she was showing how she decorates stuff on the wall using things that she has around the home, so using zero money. And I was thinking, you know what, I do this all the time. I have so much stuff. I call them home tips and some decorating stuff that I do without spending a dime, just using stuff I have around the home. And I wanted to share that with you. So guys, stay tuned. You guys may do these things, you may not, so sit tight and
Alright
enjoy.
guys, so my first tip for today is using these simple little, I think they're called sewing pins. I don't use them very often because I don't sew very often, but the one thing I do use them for is right over here, hanging up my pictures. Oh yeah. Now, these are small picture frames, which most houses have. You can use pretty much any kind of small picture frame as long as it's pretty lightweight and hang them with a sewing pin. Yeah. Well, the reason why is because if you don't, then you end up getting all these holes in your walls. And these are all holes in my walls that I've had from previous decor stuff that I wasn't thinking at the time, even though I've known about this tip for years. I hung up stuff, and see, I like to change stuff around all the time, so I'm kind of kicking myself in the head that I didn't do this, because even though I knew about it, and I used to do it in my old house, I just happened to forget. So anyways, let me take it down so you can get a better look. Okay, and I like it. You just have to tap it in very lightly with a hammer, and push it almost all the way in until it's sticking out. That's how it's going to support it with that extra strength. And you can even kind of push it up a little bit to give it more of an anchor. And they're pretty sturdy, guys, and it saves you so much holes in your wall, especially if you're renting a house or an apartment. This is a great solution. And normally I don't hang them up with this size picture frames, but because the frame is lightweight, it's like a light plastic with some plexiglass, I'm not too worried about if it falls, and it's very light, so I put up 2 of the pins and I'm loving it. Okay, tip number 2, still talking about holes in the wall. You know, usually people have spackle on hand, but if you guys are like me, we don't use it all the time, and when we go to get it out of our shed, everything is pretty much dried up, and then you don't want to have to make a special trip out to the hardware store just to fill in holes if you're going to do touch-up paint. So what I suggest doing is getting some Elmer's glue or some School, the white glue, and fill in the hole, and it fills in the hole beautifully. And I'm going to show you right now, oops, what I'm going to do. And then I have another one, where are you? Sorry, there's like a big shadow, you guys. And I just fill it in. Now I leave kind of a blob there for a little bit, and then I kind of just play with it and kind of shove it in. And it dries clear, which is good. And the whole point of it is not to technically hide the hole, but it's to make a smooth surface on your wall so that when you go to paint, you're not even going to know that there was a hole there. And again, touch-up paint, it's paint, it's not going to cover a hole. So, and I have some pretty big holes. I mean, I've got one over here too. So that's just another tip to keep in mind. So use that glue that you have at home. Works great. Okay. Alright guys, so my next tip is about watering your home houseplants. I only have this one houseplant, so it's not a huge big deal. But if you do like to take trips or weekend outings and you don't want to have to worry about, you know, someone coming in to water your plants for a few days, then I strongly suggest that you guys do this. And it's completely free because I think every home in America has one of these. A simple water bottle. So what you do is you take any water bottle, even if you have a larger plant, the 2 liters bottles work great too. But because my plant's not that big and it doesn't drink that much water yet, I just use the regular drinking size. Now what I did is I got this, just get any sharp point that you can find, and I just poked a few holes, probably about 6 or 7 holes in there. I don't know if you guys can see that on camera. And what you do is I left about 1.5 inches on top so that the air can get through. And I just stick it right there in the soil and let it go to town. And the plant just starts sucking it up, and it'll pretty much stay like that for a couple days, watering your plants, and you don't even have to worry about it. Okay guys, so I have this door right here, and I'm pretty sure a lot of homes in America have the same exact door. It has a window on top, and see, I'm not too fond of having a window on my door because I like to feel secure, and I don't like the idea of someone, even though it's tall, someone tall enough can look over there. So we actually did this pretty much right after we moved into this home, because my husband's like, get something to cover that, get something to cover that, and you know, all the little plastic stick-ons and stuff just weren't appealing. I didn't like any of the designs, and it was kind of expensive for a huge roll. So what I decided to do was I just pulled out tissue paper. Everybody has tissue paper, right, for gifts, gift wrapping. I just pulled out one sheet and I cut it out. I just put it up here, drew it out on a pencil, and taped it up with Scotch tape. And I mean, this thing has been up here, you guys, for, I'm not even kidding, 6 or 7 years. I'm not too sure, but it is still holding up. Nobody even notices that it's tissue paper. They actually say, oh, you know, you got some frosted windows. I go, no, 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 it's not frosted windows. It's tissue paper. So I actually really love this tip. I've used it for years, and I believe that anybody that wants to cover up a window, just go grab tissue paper. It's free. You guys have it at home. I know you do. So I'm loving this tip. Okay guys, and for my final tip is actually a new tip that I just started doing, and I'm actually really in love with this idea. I actually found it off Pinterest, and I wasn't sure I was going to try it out, but you know, everybody has these, and why not? So what you do is you take the bread tie. I mean, everybody has these off breads, right? And they're completely free, guys. And what I did was I wrote what we have, PS2. And then what you go ahead and look at, I have a TV one. And then on the last one, it says, I know it's kind of hard to see back here, VCR. And the reason why we do this is because we always, my son is always getting his stuff jumbled up, and we need to fix it. And we're always trying to figure out what cord's what. And so this idea is really, you just click it right on. And I'm loving this idea. And see, there you go. And it doesn't have to be multicolors. This is just what I happen to have in my cabinet right now. And I'm actually loving this tip. Especially if you guys have a big media center in your living room. I think this is a great idea. And a great way to keep organized and knowing what cords are what. So that was it for my tips, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed them. I would love to hear what home tips you guys have that you use completely free with saving and using no money at all. So go ahead and comment below. I'd love to hear them. Thank you guys for subscribing, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.